Welcome, everyone. The driver stopped to clear the windshield because on rails, visibility is every bit as important as power. That dramatic blast isn't malfunction, it's a boiler blowdown. Steam locomotives release water and sediment under pressure to keep the boiler running safely and efficiently. Japan's Shinkansen isn't just fast, it's legendary. Some models reach nearly 200 miles per hour. The 4:45 p.m. departure out of Jim Thorpe didn't make it very far this time. That's the kind of grand exit only a steam locomotive can pull off. The horse may have stolen the spotlight, but spare a thought for the driver, who had to handle the situation with extreme care. At over 310 miles per hour, this maglev doesn't ride the rails. It floats above them using powerful magnets, making it one of the fastest trains ever built. Kyle Railroad 9330 drift busting at Colorado, Kansas. Now that's a locomotive. No wonder it's often called the real-life Polar Express. It looks like it could pull an entire town through a blizzard. There's something hypnotic about watching thousands of tons of steel glide perfectly down the rails.
El peligro es eminente. Por si a cualquier cosa yo salto por aquí.
Just looking at those rails is enough to make your palms sweat.
Pasado sin ningún problema, sin contratiempo.
You don't expect to see a locomotive rolling through what looks like an ordinary street, and that's exactly what makes this so mesmerizing. Crazy train derailment caught on camera. There's something mesmerizing about a double-stacked freight train, with containers piled too high and thousands of tons behind a single locomotive. It's a moving showcase of modern railroading at its finest. You don't often see the exact moment when the compressed air hose between train cars is pulled apart. This is one of those sights that makes trains seem less like machines and more like mythical beasts charging through the night. Patience at a railroad crossing can feel like forever, but it's nothing compared to the consequences of trying to beat a train. Don't repeat this. A few seconds of impatience can have lifelong consequences. Flooded railway due to heavy rainfall in Germany. With 137 feet of open air beneath the rails and 140 years of history supporting every crossing, this isn't just a bridge, it's a ride through the golden age of railroading. It's oddly satisfying knowing this is the reason trains don't feel like they're riding over a washboard. It almost looks like the train's daring the ocean to get in its way. It's tiny, but it's still every bit a train. .4014 and 2102 running side by side. If you're a train fan, this is probably what winning the lottery feels like. Snow picked the wrong railroad today. Tokyo doesn't just run trains, it orchestrates them. Only a few places in the world can turn a railway into a marketplace between train schedules. I'll leave you to mention their names. One of the last operating sugarcane trains running in the Philippines. You don't realize how much science goes into a railroad until you see something like this. Those sparks almost make it look like the train's forging its own path through the freezing night. Watching a steam locomotive leave the rails feels like watching a piece of history stumble. Every great locomotive deserves a good wash after putting in the miles. Listen closely. That's over a century of history refusing to give up. One whistle, and suddenly it feels like you've traveled back 100 years. A train carrying tractors. That's horsepower hauling horsepower. Railroad tracks are never a place to test your luck. Keep yourself and everything you own well clear of the rails. I don't think I'd even volunteer to walk across this bridge, let alone get on a train. There's something mesmerizing about watching hundreds of tons pivot so effortlessly on a single turntable. Container after container disappears into the distance, reminding you just how much the world depends on freight trains. You don't just watch a heavy freight train, you feel it. The ground, the air, even the camera starts joining the show. No have DI3 in heavy snow. You're probably wishing your daily commute to work looked like this. When the cargo itself weighs tons, there's only one machine that can make it look effortless: a train. That's why the emergency brake was invented. Turns out trains don't just ride the rails, they help take care of them too. Coal gave it power, but water gave it life. Watching a steam engine refill never gets old. Some railways are unforgettable because of the train. Others, like India's first cable-stayed railway bridge, steal the spotlight all by themselves. Even giants need a bath once in a while. When the vehicles that normally carry cargo become the cargo themselves, that's peak railroad efficiency. If trains had favorite seasons, this one would definitely be winter. Please don't be these guys. Only a steam locomotive can disappear into its own cloud, then emerge looking even more legendary. Sometimes a rail cam captures history for all the right reasons. Other times it catches one of the rarest moments.
They're dumping ballast right now with the gravel.
It's amazing how an ordinary day on the railroad can change in the blink of an eye.
Look at it, bud.
It's a dramatic sight, but the most important news here is that everyone made it out safely. For a second, it looks less like a railroad and more like a ship cutting through the waves. China's railways don't just cross the landscape, they conquer it, threading through mountains, bridges, and tunnels with breathtaking precision. Built in 1880 and still turning heads today, few railways blend history and scenery quite like the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway.
Whoever rents this house, I feel for them. Because look how close they are to the damn train.
You've got to admire the people who
Hell
live
no.
this close to the tracks. I'd never need an alarm clock again. What looked forgotten is slowly becoming legendary again. Now that's a comeback worth cheering for. Considering how much a locomotive weighs, watching it return to the tracks is nothing short of incredible. It may not steal the spotlight, but this machine helps keep the railroad running safely every single day. One represents the future, the other preserves the past. Watching a steam train run alongside a Shinkansen is like watching two eras shake hands. Now that's what I call first-class service.
You'll stop. You'll stop.
I don't know about you, but I'm suddenly very jealous of whoever gets to drive that. It almost looks like the train's throwing fireworks beneath its wheels. Some trains move freight, others bring an entire community together. The holiday train does a little of both. Well, that's one way to accidentally turn one train into two. Proof that you don't have to be the biggest train on the tracks to steal the show. Seriously, railroad tracks aren't parking spots.
Okay.
This seems like exciting work. For some, it's a constant nuisance. For others, it's the best front row seat money can't buy. It's not every day you get to see one of mankind's greatest machines. To most people, it's just a rail car. To the recovery crew, it's another engineering puzzle waiting to be solved.